us to not follow the arrows in this one place because the villagers over this other village who didn't get any people to go to their place came here and painted the yellow arrows so people would go see theirs. Spend a little cash, get there, pilgrims get there, walk 13 kilometers and get to this little village and find out it's nothing.
Nothing.
You gotta go all the way back. But then they're so hungry they have to get something.
Camino caminante solo a estelas en la mar. Otro camino caminante solo se hace andar. No hay camino caminante solo a estelas en la mar. Otro camino caminante solo se hace andar. Solo se hace andar.
Remember that Kiko guy? I told you about Kiko, the heroin addict, heroin dealer?
Yeah.
Well, when we were doing the Camino, one time he stopped and he said, Mike, I'm going to make a crown of thorns and wear it for the rest of the way. And Sue and I wanted to go slow, and we had been with him for a few days, so we kind of wanted to not be with him for a couple days. But anyway, he made a crown of thorns. This is the guy who looked like
Jesus, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, he looked like Jesus, and he was 33 years old too. And he looked like Jesus, and he liked to go into the churches and stand under the statues that look most like Jesus, and somebody would almost always come up and say, gee, you look like Jesus. But he made the crown of thorns, he wore it for a couple days, but then another thing Kiko did, he had a bad wart on his finger, and he sat there, we were in a refugio one night, and you're there for hours sometimes with nothing to do, and he sat there and he took a lighter and he was just going, not lighting anything, just going real softly, for about an hour or more, and pretty soon he had this little pile of the flint shavings, and then he said, I'm going to burn my wart off, and he piled all that stuff on his wart, and then he made me light it. He said, Mike, I can't light it, but I got to do it. Light it for me, please. So I lit it. And I don't know if it helped or not.
Yeah. Well, you're
Kiko.
Quite a friend.
Kiko was quite a guy.
Yeah.
Kiko is the type of person who I never would have met in my life if I hadn't been on the Camino.
Yeah.
Okay. Go right ahead and tell us who you are, where you're from, what you're doing.
My name's Carl Cribbs. This is my wife, Deborah.
Hello, Deborah.
My son, Hayden, is up in there using the computer at the moment.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He's, and then I have another son, Quinn, who is already in Santiago.
Oh, wow.
We came a month ago and started in Saint Jean Pied de Port.
Oh, yeah. We went through there, too, but we were driving.
Beautiful. On May 29th, and so it's taken us a month to get this far, but we still have another 3.5 weeks to get to Santiago before we have to fly back. So we think we can make it.
You can.
We're hoping to go to Finisterre and Murcia if we have enough time.
I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, we want to, and we may have to take the bus to do it or whatever. But
I would do that. I would take the bus.
But we just we had always wanted to do the Appalachian Trail, but it's not accessible at all for wheelchairs. So when the movie The Way came out and we saw it, and it looked like more of it was accessible, we thought, well, even if we had to take a bus or something on part of it, it was something we could do. And everyone has the big lofty reasons why they do it, and ours was more like, it looked like something we could do. It was something we could do together, that we could actually walk and travel. And I'm a mailman in the States, so I walk all the time.
Sure.
So we thought, well, it shouldn't be any problem. Well, I'm a mailman in Oklahoma where it's flat, starting in Roncesvalles.
Oh
my goodness.
Jeez.
When we got to Roncesvalles, the chair couldn't make it to the towns. And
that must have been tough.
It was rough. We thought we had made a mistake, and I was thinking maybe we should just go home. But everybody said, no, you've gone over the hard part, and we learned that as we walk, we leave in the morning, we stop for breakfast, we charge the chair in the little bars or the cafes, we go for lunch, we charge the chair, and we can go almost as far as anybody else.
Wow.
It just takes us longer. And
Right.
so we get in 6 or 7 o'clock at night, but we've always, you know, we found several of the albergues you couldn't get into because of so many stairs.
Yep.
But every time
You've
the
been
Camino's
successful.
provided, and God has always found a way to get us in somewhere. So we've slept on the floor in the bars a couple of times where they've brought mattresses down and let us stay down there. Everybody has just been so nice.
No hay camino caminante, solo hay estelas en la mar. No hay camino caminante, solo se hace al andar. No hay camino caminante, solo hay estelas en la mar. No hay camino caminante, solo se hace al andar. Solo se hace al andar.
Some new friends? Oh yeah. Those are happy cows, don't you think?
Okay. Dude, you getting that?
I got it all.
From Melbourne, Australia, and
It's hard to condense it.
I don't know. Really, I think I'm just doing it for the challenge. I didn't know too much about it before I started. I knew a mate was doing it. He'd watched the movie The Way, and yeah, like everyone's very cliched.
Yeah.
And
What have you discovered along the way? Anything?
Oh,
Everything?
everything. Yeah, a lot of thinking time and a lot of thought. You know, what's happened in the past, what's happening in the future, and taking in a lot of the scenery. It's been magnificent. Today's been super special. It's been great, but yeah, it's certainly an experience, and I don't know. I'm not on any sort of spiritual journey or anything like that. I think I'm just, you know, looking at it as a bit of a challenge and a great thing to do. So
No, that could be spiritual in and of itself, you know.
that might end up, but
I think so.
yeah.
All right.
Ferro.
Yeah?
So Kiko, we've talked about Kiko before.
Oh yeah.
He knew a lot about the Camino, and everywhere he'd go, it's no lie, everybody knew him, and they'd say Kiko, because it was his third time, and he was a memorable guy. He looked like Jesus, remember?
Right.
Anyway, so Kiko, this was 1995, and he said that he was convinced that in the year 1999 the world was going to end. And then he said the other legend was that when the rocks reached the cross, the top of the cross, that was the time when the end of the world was going to happen. So when we got here with him, I said, Kiko, look it's not even halfway. I think we're okay for the 1999. He said, no, this so many more people. It's increasing. The popularity is increasing so much. By 1999, for sure, it's going to reach the top, and that'll be the end of the world. I guarantee you. I said, oh, I don't know. We'll see. And I was right, happily.
We're still here.
We are in 2014.
You got it.
And it looks
like
good.
there's plenty of rocks left to go.
We're okay for a while.
For a while.
And people are enjoying the Cruz de Ferro.
Yeah.
Still one of the best places on the Camino,
I
if not
agree.
the best.
200 years, this was the prime pilgrimage in all of Christendom, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said they're
Up to 500,000 people a year walk it. And that's why all those...
Like 1,000 years ago?
No, for about, well, in the, I think the big centuries were
What do you think was the height?
11th and 12th, and then the 13th was still big, but then it started going down in terms of numbers a little. Then I think they said that like there's this one year in like in the late 1800s, on the Feast of St. James, there were like 26 people, they said, or 19 people in the cathedral for the Mass, and nobody was doing it at all. And then now, last year more than 200,000 people, but still nothing like 500,000. Think of that. Think of that.
Yeah, a 500,000, more than double the amount that we're seeing.
And it was all France then, that all the different religious orders from France would come in here and try to provide services and get their influence into Spain, which was still held by the Moors in the south in that period.
Yeah, we were talking about the influence.
The whole Christian-Muslim conflict of the whole Europe and the whole world, I guess.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about that on the way up, that it was in part the Camino de Santiago which created conditions for the Reconquista. Without it, you probably wouldn't have had it, because there was no Christian Spain without it, and that was a big propaganda thing where they said, "Well, come and see this," and, "Oh, we got to save this for Christendom," and all this money came in, and all these knights and all the Templars came in.
And today,
the question is it ever going to be resolved?
Well, that's a great version.
That's the way they did it in the old days.
That's pretty much it.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Want to go, take you home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mars.
Up here all year in this place, running it.
Tomas guy?
Tomas,
Tomas.
but he had heart surgery like this spring. So now he's down below someplace. So
They say the altitude's not good for him.
Several times, every year. I've been by here a few times, and he's always here. And,
Yeah, he's a little crazy, a little
he's into
eccentric.
The Templars.
Yeah.
The Templars. He's very into, and he does these Templar ceremonies. Or you can see the Templar stuff.
I heard there was. And
There it is. Encomienda Templaria. Yeah, he does all sorts of stuff. He did. He was an awesome, interesting guy of the Camino. One of the really cool
The pillars.
stories. And in this Villafranca, there's the other guy, Hato. Have you heard of him?
No.
Make sure you go to that refugio that is called Ave Phoenix. Okay, there's the municipal one, but the Ave Phoenix one is the guy whose family has been, they've been dedicated to the Camino and people for a long time, his whole life.
Nos comunicamos que estamos aquí con amigos americanos que nos vamos para febrero, mi nombre es Santiago.
Qué bien. ¡Wow! ¡Qué violín más bonito! De los papeles.
Lo que yo quiero es terminar el camino de Santiago. Para mí es caminar con el corazón y sentirlo con la cabeza, ¿me entiendes? Sentir todo lo que hay alrededor, porque hay gente que en realidad que no sabe qué es el camino, porque va dejando mochilas y va dejando de aquí para allá, y entonces no nota el peso, no nota el daño de las piernas, ¿me entiendes? No nota las llagas, como aquel que dice el daño, ¿no? Y el daño se tiene que sufrir como hemos sufrido desde el primer momento que nacimos hasta ahora, ¿entiendes?
El sufrimiento,
sufrimiento, exactamente.
Sí.
Desde el año 98.
Ah, sí.
Cuando yo vine aquí en 98, me enseñaste lo que
iba a hacer.
Sí.
Sí.
Y
A mí
pues,
también. Yo
Ahora
también lo hice en
lo ves
98.
que lo hemos hecho.
hemos
Ajá,
tenido
qué
aquí,
bien.
y,
Una maravilla.
bueno, no es mucho, pero dentro de todo, la dedicación de gracias, dice Jesús, Hato y familia.
Ah, pues habrá que ponerlo de...
Sí,
más que
¿sabes?
ponerla, habrá que colgarla.
Bueno, como quieras.
Gracias.
All my memories gather round her, miner's lady, strange
Galicia, it's raining. And it's green. This is the Ireland of Spain, settled by or colonized by the Celts.
The hills are alive with the sound of music.
Very operatic.
I'm trained opera singer.
Yep. Trained in auto mechanics.
I hear her voice in the morning time to call me. Radio reminds me of my home far away. And walking down the road, I get a feeling that I could have been home yesterday. Country road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia. Mama, take me home. Country road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia. Mama, take me home. Country road, take me home. Country road,
That's our only German song we have.
In Bronson Vallis, that's the first is and so next to me was an American sheriff from a little town in New Mexico.
Oh, wow.
And his wife. And I met them, his name was Dan, and I met him and Celia quite a lot of times, you know. And opposite me was a man and his 9-year-old daughter. And he was a German fella, but he was a diplomat in the German embassy in London.
Oh.
And his daughter went to a school in London, like that. But you meet all sorts of people.
Most interesting people you'll ever meet in your life.
Well, I mean, I never have thought you two were Spanish professors. You don't look it.
Well, I don't know how to take that. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Eu sou Antônio de Brasil. É assim, o que a gente vê no caminho é o que a gente vê. E a gente não tem palavras para... Impossível se expressar para dizer quão maravilhoso é tudo isso. Um beijo do Brasil. As diferenças, elas são importantes. São importantes para que a gente aprenda uns com os outros. Não é? Mas eu não sou melhor que você e nem ao contrário. Nem sou melhor que esse ou aquele, nem o contrário. Somos iguais. Vivemos em culturas diferentes.
Sim. Bien dicho, bien dicho.
Vivemos em culturas diferentes, então para entender você, eu tenho que entender a sua cultura.
Sim.
Não é?
Ça fait quelques jours là, maintenant que je suis sur le chemin et je voudrais juste, pas très long, juste dire à tous ceux qui un jour ressentent l'appel à venir, comme c'était le cas pour moi, et ben jetez-vous, venez et si vous ressentez l'appel, suivez-le et venez. Et c'est extraordinaire tout ce qui se passe ici, vraiment l'Esprit Saint souffle très très fort et venez et osez quoi, venez, tout simplement.
Merci. Venta Celta. ¿Te acuerdas algo de nuestro camino?
Me acuerdo que eras un gilipollas.
Por
La gente If desperate folks eating in a fancy dining car, they're probably drinking coffee and smoking a cigar. But I know I can't fight. I know I can't and that's a chord. Now they will train with mine. Did I keep moving from far?